Remember this guy from last year? Back at IFA 2025, we saw AceMagic roll out a Nintendo Entertainment System, or NAS, stylized mini PC, taking advantage of a Ryzen AI 9 CPU. Now this is the same system here, but this is taking advantage of the HX470, but it's largely the same as what we saw before, supporting up to 64 gig of DDR5 memory, which, let's face it, at the start of January 2025 is about £1 million. But on top of that, it also has a couple of M.2 NVMe slots inside there, alongside USB 4 support, Wi-Fi 7, and again 2.5 gig there on the rear. So I'll see right now, I still don't understand how exactly AceMagic are getting away with this without Nintendo absolutely losing their S. But as if that's not enough, they've now also gone for this. This is exactly the same hardware. This is part of their retro style mini PC, and this, again, your immediate thoughts are this is PlayStation 1 or PSX, but it's actually, it's somewhere, I would argue, between a Dreambox, maybe even a Sega Saturn. But still, it's not too similar that Sony might get angry, but we'll have to wait and see. At least right now, it's nice to see AceMagic going ahead with these mini stylized PCs, but I do still wonder just how are they getting away with this design. Another quick one, OWC, or Otherworld Computing, a brand that we've talked about on the channel before, is rolling out a new Thunderbolt 5 docking station. It's actually available right now for $499, but what really sets this TB5 docking station apart from the others is that it's rolling out with two 10 gig network ports alongside a 2.5 gig network port, taking advantage of the JHL9480 Thunderbolt controller, and both of those 10 gigs taking advantage of the AQC113 10G controller. This is an interesting proposition as a docking station that really does seem to double, if not quadruple down on networking. We've only just got used to the idea of 2.5 gig docking stations rolling out, and here we have a triple threat indeed. And a quick update to Ugreen's whole surveillance thing at the moment. We talked about them rolling out a series of IP cameras that are controllable from a central display, alongside local SD card recording and Edge AI features. Well, as discussed in that video, we did talk about Ugreen saying integration with a surveillance application on their NAS, and I'm pleased to say on the stand they are showing off an early alpha of that surveillance software. Again, it's by no means complete. It does support multiple of their own cameras being connected. As you can see there, we're just playing with the camera that's connected, but it is still very far from any kind of stable usage. I will highlight, though, that I asked several people on the stand about support of on-viv cameras and third-party cameras, because Ugreen is saying that their own surveillance cameras are going to be rocking out in H2, that's the second half of 2026. And everyone I spoke to said that they're targeting support of both their own cameras and on-viv cameras, which means that if Ugreen can roll this out, that would be incredibly appealing. Furthermore, about those looking at their own NAS system in their home or business, and now alongside the benefits in terms of storage and the benefits in terms of AI, LLM support for many of them, and of course multimedia applications, now Ugreen are going to be rolling their NAS applications out down the road with a surveillance application included as well. Now, these guys are kind of challenging the idea of local AI NAS. Let's face it, it's something we hear about a great deal. But these guys are rolling out a lot more scalability in their solutions than a lot of other users in the market. Now, what we're looking at here is the E1001NX. It's actually part of a larger series. There's a Pro model and others that are rocking out with local AI-based capabilities, but it's the fact that you can cluster a lot of these systems to add nodes as you go, connected with 10 GBE and then 25 gig in some cases. Now, this isn't the reason I'm including them in this video. I want to talk more about this. This is their new highly clustered local AI server. Now, this supporting up to 6 individual nodes, depending on which one of their nodes you go for, and arriving with 25 gig networking on the rear. This is a serious piece of kit. Each one of these nodes, like this one here, arrives with a 70-core NPU-ready ARM processor, also arriving with M.2 NVMe storage inside and supporting 600 or up to 640 gigabytes of RAM inside. Each one of these individual nodes or blades is what you can use to scale up your AI server over time, running only a single node if you choose, and then adding them more and more, up to a potential 10 petaflops of data and AI data handling all the way through. It's got a couple of 800-watt redundant PSU on the rear there, but it's the idea you've got multiple different node types on their website to play with, and high scalability in terms of storage, RAM, and AI capabilities as your average user scales things up. I love the idea of an AI server that doesn't have a low glass ceiling. Now, they're going to be heading to Kickstarter with this solution because realistically, they don't quite know who this is for and ultimately what the target audience for something like this is. We already see a lot of this kind of architecture in a racked mount solution, but it's unusual to see it in a desktop configuration there. But let's learn more about this later in 2026. You guys remember this, the Gl.iNet Comet Pro? We talked about it a little bit more in 2025, and when we visited Gl.iNet's HQ, they showed me some of their newer products, and I'm pleased to say that we've now got the confirmed full release of this, the Comet 5G. This takes advantage of pretty much the same architecture, but suits up a few little elements, such as increasing the amount of OS storage from 32 gig to 64 gig, but crucially, this does now support on the side there a SIM card. So alongside network connectivity there with the external antennae, it also has a 1 gigabit network input alongside now having that extra level of access there with the 5G SIM support there. Just the one slot. Probably would have been nice if they'd integrated some further storage arrangements there, but still nonetheless, this is a much more souped up kind of all access alternative to what we've already seen in the Comet Pro there. Bigger screen as well. No doubt this is going to be reflected there in the price, but I just wanted to touch on it there because just genuinely it's just nice to see them expanding even further into KVM technology.